Hi folks, you're in for a special treat on Muscle TV tonight. We've got a very special guest here, straight from the Mr. Olympia contest where he placed second. Please welcome to Australia, Mr. Phil Heath. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you.
First time here in Australia, you've just got second place in the Mr. Olympia contest, arguably one of the closest decisions ever in the Mr. Olympia, beaten by a very small margin by your good friend, Jay Cutler. I mean, let's get to the point. Were you robbed? A lot of people thought you had that show won, me included. How close do you think it was? And at that moment of truth, did you think you had it won?
There was a split second where there was two moments, like during my posing routine, where I thought, wow, like I'm really killing it. And then especially when we're standing, you know, at the end, when Bob Ciccarello was getting ready to read off the name of the champion, there's about a 5-second span where it probably, in my mind, lasted like 50 minutes, where I just thought, you're going to win. And I remember I kept looking down at that Sandow trophy, and I kept saying, you're going to win. You're going to win. They're going to call your name. You're going to win. And it didn't happen, but I was like, oh, man, I really thought I was going to get it. But
so you had your speech ready, everything ready to go?
I had my speech ready. I can't lie. You know, I was, you know, and it kind of sucked. But Jay's been a great champion and, you know, great ambassador for our sport. And I can't say enough great things about him. You know, April 4th, 2003, that's the first night we met. And here we are, you know, 7.5 years later, fighting for this title. Who would have thought, you know? So I just hope we could do it again, because I think it brought a lot of positive energy to the sport of bodybuilding. I mean, a lot of people usually see one person win and the other person's like, oh, you know, oh, that sucks. You know, I got robbed and this and that. But this was different. You know, this was like, yeah, you know, I lost, but, you know, I'm friends first with this guy, you know, and at the end of the day, it's better than being fifth like last year.
A lot of guys hit their straps in the pro ranks, then they don't get any better. You just keep getting better and better and better. Let's face it, you're probably the fastest rising pro in the history of the sport. It's only 7 years since you became a bodybuilder, let alone the second best bodybuilder in the world. Other people can take 10 or 15 years to do that. What's interesting about you and your physique is that you've improved every single time you've competed. You've made 5, 10, 15% improvements every time you compete. What would you attribute that to?
I just try to, you know, take one day at a time, put one foot in front of the other. Just really try to make sure that I'm utilizing my strengths and conquering my weaknesses as much as possible. I think a lot of guys, you know, they get complacent when they get some success and they start believing in their own hype through the magazines, through the internet, especially the internet right now, because it allows a lot of fans and what I like to call armchair quarterbacks, you know, the guys that just sit behind the computer and tell another guy how great they are. You know, an average bodybuilder can look at that and think that they're the Mr. Olympia. Whereas for me, you know, I'm a top contender, and if someone were to write something about me, give me a compliment, I mean, you've complimented me many times, and I respect that, and I appreciate it, but that's not necessarily going to win me a title. I have to continue to, you know, go back in the gym, be a student of the game, look at where my flaws are, and try to minimize those flaws as quickly as possible, because I know that these guys have been training for twice the amount of time, if not 3 times the amount. So I've got to make sure that my time in the gym is spent wisely. I don't get hurt. I make sure that my meals are good, even in off season. I have no margin for error, because these guys, like I said, these are seasoned veterans. These guys are at the peak of their career, and I'm not. So in order for me to catch them and surpass them, I've got to be smarter and just train like a beast. So I'm just really excited to be in this situation, because being 30 years old, going against these great athletes, I'm more so preparing for the next crop of guys. So when I'm 37, 38 years old, I'm sure there's going to be another guy, might be just like me, and I've got to be able to hold him off.
You're what we describe as the new generation of bodybuilder. You're smart, you look very healthy, everything seems to be, as I said, improving all the time, but it's happened so quick. What the viewers may not know is it's only 8 years ago you were playing basketball, set to have a professional basketball career. Obviously you're not 7 foot tall and you've got these great big arms. At what stage did you get it and think, well, I'm not going to get any taller, but I keep getting bigger, maybe I should go do that weight training?
During the summer of 2002, I had made a few friends in the gym, and you know, a couple of them were getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, so I went ahead and went to go support them. And me being a basketball guy, I'm wearing like the, you know, basketball get up at a bodybuilding show, so I'm standing out like a sore thumb. And I went into the bodybuilding show, and I just, like, my eyes lit up. I was like, wow, like, these guys are all incredible, you know. And you know, now that I think back at it, they weren't all that great, but in a way they were, because they were better than me. I thought, wow, like, these guys are, they look like statues, man. Like, they look like they should be bronzed and put in a museum. And all I could think about is, gosh, I wish I could look like that. And then the guys that I would support and I went with the show, they're laughing, because in their minds they thought, well, he's already there. I just didn't realize it. And it was my friends that I kept early on. They were the ones that pushed me. And I didn't even know it. I was just doing bodybuilding as a hobby. Just like how Ronnie Coleman says he was just doing it as a hobby. That's all I was doing. I was just trying to, you know, feel good and look a little bit better than I was before, and it just turned out to be a great career.
How good is it now to be on the road as an ambassador for the sport that you love and living your dream, I guess?
It's a dream come true, no question. I mean, growing up wanting to be, Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson as a basketball player, that was my dream. But, there was a point in time where, I was actually, now I think about it, I was actually interviewed when I was 17 years old by a local newspaper, and they said, well, what if, basketball doesn't work out and this and that? And I remember saying this. I told the reporter, I said, I just want to be a professional in something. That's all I want. Whether it be being a lawyer or a doctor or something, I just want to be a pro in something. And I am now. I'm a pro in bodybuilding. I wasn't able to make it in basketball, but, I used those lessons of, hardship and knowing how to, be 5'9" and go against guys that are twice the size of you, and just having the heart to go back and work hard. And in this sport, I was going against guys that outweighed me by 20, 30 pounds each time out, and I didn't let it stop me. I just went back into the gym, and I just stayed positive. I think a lot of people, they don't achieve their dreams because they're not positive. They have a good game plan, but when times go rough, they kind of cower away, and then they give up. And for me, it's like, I'm not going to give up. When I placed 5th last year, I was so upset, but I thought, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to show them. And not even show them, I'm going to show myself. And I'm going to show myself that, you've got an extra gear that you can show everybody at the Olympia. I weighed 237 at the night show at the Arnold, and I weighed 245 at the Olympia, within 6 months. That took a lot of hard work. And I just went back in that gym, and I'm going to be back I'm in the gym now, killing myself, and I want to take it easy, but I can't. So now I get to go back to the States with even more appreciation for the sport of bodybuilding, because I have a lot of people that follow it and a lot of people that support me. So I'm just very grateful, and those are the people that I'm going to be, pushing myself in the gym for. Not the people that don't want me to win, but the people that believe.
Phil, we'll wind it up there. Thanks for coming on Max's Muscle TV. And you do have a lot of Australian fans, so let's finish with any message you've got for your Australian fans.
Well, I definitely want to come back out here when I am the Mr. Olympia, champion, and I'm going to bring that sandal so then everybody can see it and touch it and take a picture with it for sure.
That's Phil Heath for Max's Muscle TV.